Welcome to Banik Smart Class, YouTube for Civil Service Examination. We are continuing this class since last several months. This initiative is all meant for the future civil servants, those who are preparing for civil service examinations. And this session is on Indian polity. In the last session, we had closed the chapter almost. Only few portions are left with regards to the chapter of Parliament. In this class, we shall begin with the comparative position of Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. It can be discussed in three dimensions or three ways. That you can say equal powers, Rajya Sabha equal to Lok Sabha in certain aspects. Equal to Lok Sabha in certain aspects. We shall discuss the aspects also. We shall also discuss the aspects. The Lok Sabha and number two, Rajya Sabha unequal to Lok Sabha in certain aspects, has unequal powers with regards to Lok Sabha. And number three, special powers of Rajya Sabha. Powers of Rajya Sabha. So that is most important part. So we will discuss this part on the following premises. One is equal powers of Rajya Sabha with Lok Sabha, another is unequal powers of Rajya Sabha with Lok Sabha, and some special powers. In this way, we shall compare the differences or the powers of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. First, we shall discuss Lok Sabha enjoys equal powers. That is equal powers of equal powers. We shall discuss equal powers. Both houses. First is introduction and passage of ordinary bill, ordinary bills, constitutional amendment bills, caps, and finance bills. Finance bills too. In these three kinds of bills, Rajya Sabha enjoys exclusive power with regards to Lok Sabha. In the passage of ordinary bill, in the passage of constitutional amendment bill, in the passage of finance bill too, the Rajya Sabha has equal powers with Lok Sabha. It means it can be introduced in either house. It can be passed by in the simple majority in both the houses, and if Rajya Sabha does not pass it, then it will not be passed. There may be joint sitting on to some extent also, but there is no joint sitting on constitutional amendment bill and finance bills. Only ordinary bill can invite joint sitting, but the passage or the power of passage these bills is equal, both Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. Next, there is, you can say, election and impeachment of the president. Election and impeachment of the president. In this case also, Rajya Sabha enjoys equal powers. The Rajya Sabha members do participate in the election of the president, and the Lok Sabha members also participate in the election of the president. They also participate in the impeachment of the president. The Rajya Sabha also, impeachment is a resolution to be passed by both houses in 2/3 majority. So in this case they have equal powers of the president, equal power of both the houses. Then removal, election, and also removal of the vice president. Both houses have powers. Removal of vice president. In the election, the members, all the members of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha do participate in the election of the vice president. And with regards to removal also, the vice president can be removed by the parliament, but the initiation must be made in the Rajya Sabha, and it is required that there is an effective majority for the effective majority required in Rajya Sabha, but in case of Lok Sabha that is only simple majority. So Rajya Sabha has decisive role to play in the removal of the vice president, although Lok Sabha participate in it. But it can be said that Rajya Sabha has a that is superior position in case of Lok Sabha on the removal of the vice president, because it is only Rajya Sabha which can initiate. So these are the things. Next we shall see what are the things that has equal powers in case of removal of judges of Supreme Court, High Court, and CAG, Election Commission of India, Chief Election Commissioner, all these are removed by the parliament and with equal participation of both the houses. That is also to be there. So the members do not differ. The members, they do not, they have equal power, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, in the removal of the judges of Supreme Court, CAG, and Chief Election Commissioner of India. They can be removed in the same manner. Number 2, approval of ordinance. Approval of ordinances also is the responsibility of both the houses within 6 weeks from the date of reassembly. So it is not Lok Sabha that will pass the ordinances. Also Rajya Sabha needs to pass the ordinances. Otherwise it will not be declared as passed by the parliament. That is also a kind of things that Rajya Sabha enjoys. And also approval of national emergency, and that is national, state and financial emergency are the equal power. Financial emergency are the equal power of the Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. They alone have to approve it, and unless they are approved by both the houses, then it cannot be called, cannot be approved. That is also. So approval of the 3 types of emergency is equal responsibility of both the houses. That is why, therefore it is the equal power of the president, equal power of the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Then we can say the selection of ministers can be from both the houses. Selection of ministers and Prime Minister, PM and ministers, they can be either member of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. There is no bar. PM can be a member of both the houses of Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha. So that is also a point that the 2 houses have equal powers in this regard. Then consideration of reports of various reports. Consideration of reports by the parliament. In this case, both the houses have equal power. The reports that are submitted by the president to the parliament are reports of the CAG, reports of the UPSC, reports of national commissions, and reports of the finance commission. So every report will be considered by the houses individually, and they have equal power in this regard. So these are the unique areas, or these are the areas where both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha enjoy equal influence and equal power. And there are certain some certain things that Lok Sabha has exclusive power. We shall discuss the unequal powers. Unequal powers of these houses. Number one is passage and introduction and passage of money bill. Introduction and passage of money bill, and passage of money bill and finance bill 1 of money bill, and finance bill 1 in this case. Lok Sabha has more power. Lok Sabha has a very decisive role to play in case of money bill and finance bill 1. Rajya Sabha doesn't have any substantial power in case of money bill. As you know, Rajya Sabha cannot amend or reject a money bill. It can only recommend something, and its recommendation may not be may not be accepted by the House. So that is most kind of things. And another thing, that in case of budget also, in case of budget, there are differences. Rajya Sabha can, in case of passage of budget, Rajya Lok Sabha has more influential power than more influential power than more influential power than the that is Rajya Sabha. Lok Sabha enjoys influential power, influential position in the passage of the budget, and the demand for grants cannot be discussed. The demand for grants cannot be discussed in the Rajya Sabha. It can only be discussed in the that is, you can call, in the Lok Sabha. Then number 3, that is resolution for resolution for discontinuance of emergency, national emergency, can be initiated only in Lok Sabha. If only you can say 110 member, or it is only 10 member, 110 member write to the president or moves a resolution in this house in the Lok Sabha, then the national emergency will be discontinued. So disapproval of the national emergency is a prerogative of the Lok Sabha, not Rajya Sabha. That is also a point to be remembered. Then another thing, that a resolution, then the Rajya Sabha cannot also, no confidence motion, we can say NCM number 304, Rajya Sabha cannot remove the government. That is also a kind of things you have to ensure, that in Lok Sabha, in Rajya Sabha, no confidence motion cannot be initiated. It cannot be initiated in Rajya Sabha, it can only be initiated in Lok Sabha. So in some areas like money bill or discontinuance of emergency, passage of budget and removal of the government, Lok Sabha enjoys influential power and more power than the Rajya Sabha. Rajya Sabha doesn't have that is called the doesn't have this power. But this does not mean Rajya Sabha is an inferior chamber. It is a completely a very essential chamber in a parliamentary democracy. It provides the necessary checks and balances to the government, and as the government has a majority, comfortable majority in Lok Sabha, so in the absence of Rajya Sabha, anything could have been done. and therefore it checks hasty and defective and careless, ill-considered legislation by the Lok Sabha. It facilitates giving representation to eminent professionals and experts also. One of the aspects of Rajya Sabha is that it not only checks hasty, defective, careless and ill-considered legislation by the Lok Sabha. So if it delays the bill, it doesn't pass the bill, it will not become an act. Another aspect is that it facilitates nomination of members from different walks of life to the Rajya Sabha. It adds wisdom, experience and knowledge to the parliamentary tradition. So it is essential therefore that Rajya Sabha provides. Then it remains the federal equilibrium, it brings the federal equilibrium and strengthens the federal characteristic of our polity. Rajya Sabha houses the representatives from the states and it guards the interest of the state. That is the things. Another thing that Rajya Sabha has special powers that you can say under Article 249, it authorizes the Parliament special powers. Special powers of Rajya Sabha. That is if the Rajya Sabha authorized, if it can authorize the Parliament to make laws, it can authorize the Parliament. It can authorize the Parliament to make laws on state list whenever it is essential in the national interest. Rajya Sabha can initiate a bill for enacting on the state list. The Lok Sabha cannot do it. That is a kind of special powers mentioned in Article 249. And the initiation for all India services can be made in the Rajya Sabha. Rajya Sabha establishment of all India service. The Rajya Sabha will introduce a bill first. Although it needs to be approved by Lok Sabha, but still it is the prerogative of Rajya Sabha to initiate the process. Unless Rajya Sabha initiate, Lok Sabha cannot do these things. That is also a point of things to be remembered, that Rajya Sabha introduces or initiates the establishment of All India Service in the Rajya Sabha. And in case of also number 3, removal of the Vice President, as we have discussed, in the removal of the VP, it is the Rajya Sabha which initiates the process. Unless Rajya Sabha passes on a resolution for the removal of the Vice President, Lok Sabha cannot take up the issue or cannot initiate the issue. That is also a point to be remembered. And that is there that imposing national emergency or President's rule or financial emergency at when the Lok Sabha has been dissolved or the dissolution of Lok Sabha takes place within the period of approval, then proclamation can remain effective even if it is approved by Rajya Sabha, Article 352. Okay, so that is the Rajya Sabha, even if it approves the Rajya Sabha, approves the proclamation of emergency, then the proclamation can remain effective even if it is approved by the Rajya Sabha. That is 352, 356 and 360. So these are the unique powers of the that is the unique powers of the Rajya Sabha. It enjoys certain special powers. So in a nutshell, we can summarize that not only Lok Sabha but also Rajya Sabha are assigned with their legitimate tax. It is not that one house is made superior and other is inferior. Both the houses have their respective powers, respective influence in their sphere. Rajya Sabha has also some important functions to perform in a parliamentary democracy. And the most important or vital aspect of having a second chamber is that it checks the hasty and ill-considered legislation by Lok Sabha, which may go against the national interest. So we cannot deny the importance of Rajya Sabha in our parliamentary system. This is all about your comparative position of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. kindly remember the three major dimensions or premises on which we can discuss the comparative analysis of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Okay. And then come to your parliamentary committees, the last portion of the chapter union legislature, and parliamentary committees are very essential in a parliamentary democracy because parliament is assigned with multiple tasks. It is a multifunctional body, we have already discussed. There are a lot of functions are performed by parliament. Hence, to facilitate and to assist the parliament in executing its function in a better manner, in an effective and hassle-free manner, the parliament can consist of, or parliament can constitute several committees. And therefore, parliamentary committees are set up to deal with specific matters as the parliament lacks time and expertise. The need for parliamentary committees is very clear key. It has it lacks time and expertise to deal with all the matters minutely. Hence, it sets up various committees, and for that purpose, such committees are either elected by the members or nominated by the speaker of the chairman. Committees work under the direction of the presiding officers in the house. They present their report to the respective houses. Classification of the committees on the basis of their nature, they can be classified into ad hoc committee and standing committee. Ad hoc committees are for temporary purpose and standing committees are for permanent purpose. They continue to be in existence throughout the year. So, there are ad hoc committees and there are standing committees, and standing committees are of various types. Standing committees are permanent committees. They are constituted every year. So, they have a term of 1 year, but they are continuously established. And out of the standing committee, most important is departmental standing committee. There are 24 departmental standing committee attached to each ministry, and they play a crucial role in the passage of the budget. And there are financial committee, most prominent is public account committee, estimate committee and committee on public undertakings. They have a profound influence on profound influence on the functioning of parliament and in controlling the So, we are continuing with the committees, and they were They were having departmental committees. We have set up financial committees, very important role in the parliamentary democracy, and it also they help parliament to exert financial control over the executive. Then administrative committees are committees of on day-to-day business. They are business advisory committee, committees on private members' bills, committees on absence of members, committees on offence of profit, office of profit and rules committee. The that is, you can say, the okay. So there are committees on scrutiny and control. There are committees on scrutiny and control. That is also very important, scrutiny and control. And you can say that these committees exert various, they do various activities for scrutinizing and controlling the things. Look at the provisions. Look at the names of the committees who are there. Okay. So these are the committees on government assurances, committees on subordinate legislation, committee on paper laid on the table, committee on welfare of SC and STs, committee on empowerment of women. These are scrutiny and control committee because they examine. Okay, we shall discuss in a very good manner. Committees on enquire, committee on petitions, committee on privileges, committee on ethics committee, and there are committees for facilities and privileges of members. There are day-to-day committees, general purpose, library committee, joint committee, all these things. Some important committees we shall discuss. So as we have seen, there is a division of committees in Parliament. They perform different types of activities, and according to their performance, according to their nature of activities, we have divided the committees into different areas. And now we shall discuss some important committees. First we shall discuss the public account committees, and public account committees is very important committees in the Parliament. Public account committee play a very vital role in exerting financial control of the legislature over the executive. So that is set up in 1924 under the provision of Government of India Act 1919. And this committee has a strength of 22, 15 members from Lok Sabha and 7 members from Rajya Sabha. That means it is a joint committee. And elections of the members are conducted by the members. Elections are held by they are elected by the members of the Lok Sabha. From amongst themselves, members are elected. Then restriction: ministers are not its members. Chairman is elected, appointed by the Speaker of Lok Sabha, and usually the leader of opposition becomes or is appointed as the chairperson of this committee, and this tradition or convention has been in vogue since 1967. The term of the every parliamentary committee is 1 year. That means in every one year they are reconstituted. So this is one of the prolific committees in Parliament, and the business of the committee examines the accounts of the Union government to ensure the actual expenditure matches the expenditure sanctioned by the Parliament, examines the report of the Comptroller and Auditor General of India that is submitted to the Parliament by the President. So Public Account Committee is a major financial committee, and it plays a decisive role. Although its nature of work is post-mortem in nature, that it carries out in report, or it carries out its investigation, or carries out its examination after the money is spent, but still it has a very commendable influence on the government in prescribing or in with regards to public money. So that is public account. Then estimate committee is also another important financial committee. This committee exclusively belongs to Lok Sabha, and it was recommended by John Mathai committee in 1951. The strength of the committee is 30, and they are all from Lok Sabha, and elections are held by members on the basis of PRSTB. From amongst themselves, restrictions that ministers cannot be a member. Chairman is appointed by the presiding officer, and term is 1 year. Functions: examines the budgetary estimates and suggests economies to bring in them. So, estimate committee is invariably related to the budget of the Union of India or budget of the Government of India, and they examine the budgets and they ensure that the economy has been maintained in the budget, government has not overspent public money or has not misused the public money. So, estimate committee is also one of the major financial committees in Parliament, which ensures that public money is spent in a proper way and it is estimated properly, not misused or misappropriated. So, that is also a post-mortem in nature, but still they have some role to play. Then Committee on Public Undertaking, they are set up in 1964 on the recommendation of Krishna Menon Committee. It deals exclusively with the performance of the public sector undertakings under the Government of India, and its strength is 22 and it's invariably 15 and 7 respectively from Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. So, it is a joint parliamentary committee. It is a joint parliamentary committee, and it has a role that by the members are elected by the members of the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, and restriction of ministers are not members. Chairman of the committee is appointed by the speaker. Usually the deputy speaker is appointed as the chairperson of these committees. The term is 1 year, and the function is that it examines the budgetary provisions, budgetary estimates and suggest economies to bring in them, and suggest alternative policies to bring about the efficiency and economy administration. It deals with the accounts, reports of the CAG on public undertakings. That is most outstanding part. We have not mentioned it, but kindly remember that the report of the CAG on public undertaking is examined by this committee, Committee on Public Undertaking. It was recommended by Krishna Menon Committee. And there are departmental committees. In 2004, there has been 24 departmental running committees, and they ensure effective parliamentary control over the executive. Strength is 31. So, selection members are nominated by the speaker and the chairman from Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha respectively. 1 year out of 24 committees, 16 work under Lok Sabha and 8 work under Rajya Sabha. Restriction: a minister is not a member of the committee. Function: to consider the demands for grants of the concerned ministry, to examine annual report of the ministry, long-term policy decision of the ministry. So, they are attached to a ministry particularly, therefore, they are called departmental standing committee, and their tradition have been in practice since 1990s, you can say, and they play a very important role as they go through the demands for grants during the annual budget, and also they are associated with the long-term policy of the ministry concerned. Then apart from these famous committees, there are other committees also which does their performance. We have already discussed the type of committees that we have. Business Advisory Committee, it is a separate committee, and there are 15 members in Lok Sabha and 11 members in Rajya Sabha. It regulates and land allocation of timetable in the House. Speaker as the ex officio in the Lok Sabha and chairman ex officio in Rajya Sabha. That means the speaker becomes the ex officio chairperson. Committee on Private Members Bill, it only belongs to Lok Sabha. It has 15 members. So, that is an exclusive committee of Lok Sabha, Committee on Private Members. Private members means those we have already discussed, those members who are not ministers, and if they say they introduce the bill is enlisted by the Committee on Private Members, and the committee ensures that all the private members' bills are duly discussed and passed by the Parliament. Then such functions are performed by Business Advisory Committee in Rajya Sabha. Rajya Sabha doesn't have a Committee on Private Members Bill. Status of bills introduced by members other than ministers, deputy speaker as its ex officio chairman. So that is Committee on Private Members Bills. That is also a logical part. Then Committee on Absence of Member, as the name suggests, it records the absence of members. It has only Lok Sabha. It belongs to Lok Sabha. It 15 members. And then Rules Committee, it is a separate committee. Each house has 15 and 16 members. Rajya Sabha has 16 members. And consider all procedures and rules of the House. Speaker and Chairman are the ex officio chairperson of the House, of the committee. Committee on Office of Profit is a joint committee having 10 members from Lok Sabha and 5 members from Rajya Sabha. Decides the offices of profit to be barred from being MPs appointed by the Speaker. Okay. That is, barred from being MPs, and this committee is appointed by the Speaker. Chairperson is appointed by the Speaker. Then Committee on Scrutiny and Control, Committee on Government Assurances, it is a separate committee and it is 15 and 19 members, examines the status of assurances and promises made by the ministers in the Parliament. Sometimes ministers and make some assurances in the House. The House records it and ensures that all the assurances made by the ministers are given meaning. So that is also a point. Then Committee on Subordinate Legislation examines the power of legislation and making rules to executive by the Parliament are being properly carried out. It is a separate committee. Each house has a Committee on Subordinate Legislation. Here subordinate legislation means sometimes Parliament passes an act in a skeleton format and endows the executive with the power to complete the draft or complete the bill, complete the act. That means due to the lack of technical expertise and time on the part of the Parliament, it is for the Parliament to legislate some powers to the executive, and that is called subordinate legislation. There is a committee in Parliament on the subordinate legislation for facilitating the work. Committee on Welfare of the SC and ST, joint, total 30, 2010, examines the report of the National Commission for SC and National Commission for ST and other matters, that is welfare of SC and ST is a specific committee. Then Committee on Enquiry, that is on petition, separate committees 15 and 10, and examines on petition on bills and important matters. Okay. Then Committee on Privileges. Committee on Privileges is separate committee. There is a 15 member from Lok Sabha and 10 members from Rajya Sabha. That is there. Examines the cases of breach of privileges and facilitate given to the MPs, and chairman person is appointed by the Speaker. So lot of committees are constituted Parliament to facilitate the work. Why are the committees constituted? To facilitate the business of the Parliament and to enable it to successfully control the executive, or enable it to control the executive successful manner, in a successful manner. They assist the Parliament. Without the committees, Parliament would not have been able to control or exert control over the executive. So in a parliamentary democracy, committees are of vital importance. Then Committee on Enquiry. Committee on Enquiry is Committee on Petition, separate. So there are inquiry committees, committees on petition, separate 15 or 10. Lok Sabha has 15 members, Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha has 10 members. It examines on petitions on bills and important matters. If any of your complaint letter has been launched or a petition has been launched, the committee takes the record of that. That is Committee on Petitions. Then committees on privileges, that is a separate committee, 15 and 10 members, and examines the case of breach of privileges. General Purpose Committee chaired by the presiding officers is a separate committee. The membership is not fixed. Speaker is the ex officio chairperson and deputy speaker, chairperson of the departmental committees, leaders of recognized parties are its members. It suggests all matters concerning affairs of the house. So it is a specific committee, that is general purpose committee, and it deals with the administration of the houses and maintenance of affairs of the houses. It is a separate committee, means each house has its general purpose committee and always the presiding officer is the chairperson. So that is the general purpose committee. We have seen lot of committees in the parliament and they are doing their best of works, and we shall just start discussing the questions of parliament. We have been long through this chapter and we are going gradually, slowly but steadily. We are discussing everything in detail because this we are taking for civil service examination. So you know that there is no compromise. We have to go in detail with regards to every provision of the topic or of the subject. So we have been for a long time through this chapter, and today is the end. We come to an end of this chapter, and there are certain MCQs that we will discuss, and the portion that are left will be discussed in the next session. Okay, so let us continue. Why should we waste our time? The first question tells us that which among the following can be said to be a part of the Parliament of India? That is, according to Article 79 of the Constitution, Parliament shall consist of Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha and President. That is, answer is 1, 2, 3, B. Kindly take a note of this, that Parliament consists of not only Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha but also the, yes. Which among the following statement is true? The maximum strength of Lok Sabha is fixed at 245. The present strength of Lok Sabha is 445. What is the true? First one is not true because the maximum strength is 250. The present strength of Lok Sabha is 545. The maximum strength of Lok Sabha is from Uttar Pradesh 80 members. ठीक है. Both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha can pass a motion of no confidence. No, only Lok Sabha. So answer is 2, 3 is correct. 2, 3 is correct. A. Kindly take a note of this. Which among the following statement is true? Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha both follow the method of proportional representation. No, in Lok Sabha we find direct election. So statement 1 is incorrect. Rajya Sabha members are elected by the elected members of the state legislative assembly, correct. Maximum strength of Lok Sabha is fixed at 552, correct. The voting age has been reduced to 21 to 18 by 61st amendment, correct. So which of the following statement is true? That means 2, 3, 4 are true. D is the answer. Which among the following statement is false? For qualifying to become Lok Sabha, a person must be at least 25 years. ठीक अच्छी. A person can be a member of both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha simultaneously at the same time. भूल अच्छी. No double membership. A person belonging to scheduled caste or scheduled tribe can contest elections from a general seat and not just the reserved seat, correct. If a member of either house votes against the direction given by his party, he can be deemed correct. When 1, 3, 4 are correct. So which of the following statement is false? Only 2 is false. Okay, number 5. During the proclamation of emergency is in operation, the term of Lok Sabha may be extended at a time for a period not exceeding 1 year, and that can be extended by Parliament. That can be extended by Parliament. And example you can give 5th Lok Sabha. 5th Lok Sabha has extended the term, and that is 1 year. Next question, that is C, answer is C. Who among the following may prorogue the House or either House of Parliament? President can prorogue the House. So number A, Rigi. Which among the following can be disqualified for crossing the floor? This is a very intriguing question or complicated question, means not understandable. Who can cross the floor? Which member or who sits in the House of Parliament? So President doesn't sit in the House, Vice President doesn't sit in the House, Speaker is the authority that sits in the Speaker's office unless he resigns from the Speakership. How can he be disqualified for crossing the floor? Then it will be Deputy Speaker probably. It will be Deputy Speaker. So B. Which among the following statement is not true? The chairman of the Rajya Sabha is the one who presides over the joint sitting of the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. The chairman of Rajya Sabha is the one who presides over the joint sitting. No. The chairman of Rajya Sabha and the speaker of Lok Sabha both have the authority to decide whether a bill is money bill. No. The president of India is the ex officio chairman of Rajya Sabha. Not at all. The chairman of Rajya Sabha is also considered to be a member of Rajya Sabha. In the same manner, the speaker is considered to be a member of Lok Sabha. No. So all of the above are not true. All of the members are not true. That is, you can just have all of the above are not true. So answer is D. Next, 9. Which of the following statement is true? Money bill can be introduced only in the Lok Sabha. True. The speaker of the Lok Sabha carries the final decision in the money bill. True. Rajya Sabha can only make recommendations, not change or reject it. True. Money bill can be introduced only after the recommendation of the president. True. So all are true. All are true. That is D. All are true. Then question number 10. The Indian Parliament shall meet once in a period of 6 months. Once in a period of 6 months. That is A. And under Article 85 it said that there cannot be a gap of 6 months, more than 6 months between two sessions. Which of the following article is dealt with the composition of Council of States? Article 80. Article 80 tells us about the composition of Rajya Sabha, and in case of 81 it is the composition of Rajya Sabha, Lok Sabha. Which of the following constitutional amendment done away with the provision of nomination of Anglo-Indian members to Lok Sabha? That is 104 Amendment Act 2020. So kindly take a note of these answers. We have come up to question number 12. Very important questions also. So, which article contains the provision of finance bill in the constitution? That is article 117A, that are not mentioned in the article 110. The gap between two sessions is called recess. It is a parliamentary term. The joint sitting of two houses of parliament presided when the speaker is not there, that is the deputy speaker of Lok Sabha. B. And the first merged budget after independence was initiated in 2017-18, that is A. So kindly take a note of all this, that the merged budget started from 2017 to 18, and since then there have been merged budget in the year. So till date we have 4 merged budget in India. All the ordinances issued by the President during the recess of Parliament under Article 123 must be approved within 6 weeks from the date of reassembly. Within 6 weeks. That is, unless it is approved, it cannot become a law. So ordinance should be approved within 6 weeks. Which of the following committee deals with budgetary provisions? We have already discussed, that is, estimate committee, a 30-member committee examines the budgetary estimates in India. Which article provides for the nomination of Anglo-Indian members to Lok Sabha? So that is article 331, Lok Sabha, and in case of 333 it is the nomination of Anglo-Indian members by governor to Vidhan Sabha, and 169 is related to abolition and creation of state legislative council. So kindly check the answers, that is 17A, 18C and 19D. Then we shall go to 20. 20 is Article 102 deals with disqualification of MPs, correct. Article 122 bars courts from inquiring into the proceedings of the House, probably correct. Yes, both 1 and 2 are correct. The term of first Lok Sabha was 1952. The first session of the first Lok Sabha commenced in 13 May 1952. The term of 15th Lok Sabha was 2008 and 13. The term of 15th Lok Sabha was extended by yearly 1 year. 5th Lok Sabha, yes, correct. So only C is incorrect. So kindly take a note of this. The term of 15th Lok Sabha was 2009 to 2014. '25. The advance money granted by Parliament to the Standing Committee to meet the expenses of day-to-day administration and pending the passage of the Union Budget is called vote on account. That is called vote on account. Who became the first deputy chairperson of Rajya Sabha? S. V. Krishnamurti Rao. That is A. Who became the last railway minister to introduce Suresh Prabhu? Because after that no railway budget has been introduced in Parliament. So 7. That is A. Can you take a note of this? What is the correct descending order of the states in terms of Lok Sabha? You have to go through the list of seats, Lok Sabha seats for each state and union territories. Kindly remember that point also. In this case, 4 states are given: Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu. Bihar has 40 strength, Tamil Nadu has 39 strength, Madhya Pradesh has 29 strength, and Andhra Pradesh has 25 strength in Lok Sabha. So then answer will be B. Answer will be B. And Mr. Ravi Rai became the first and only ODI to become the Speaker of Lok Sabha in the 10th Lok Sabha. and at that time VP Singh was the Prime Minister. Can you take a note of this? So that is in 1989-90. The railway budget was merged with the budget on the recommendation of Devroy Committee. Vivek Devroy Committee recommended in 2014, and that's why it was merged. Which of the following motion is moved by the opposition members during the passage of the budget? Cut motions, that all these are mentioned in the cut motions: policy cut, token cut, and economic cut. Which of the following motions cannot be moved in Rajya Sabha? No confidence motion cannot be moved in Rajya Sabha because they are against the government. All these motions can be initiated in either house. Who is the ultimate authority in case of defection of members? That is Speaker of Lok Sabha and Chairman of Rajya Sabha, both will be correct. So B. Which of the following is not correct about joint sitting? It is provided under 108, ठीक अच्छी. It's summoned by the President, ठीक अच्छी. It's only an ordinary bill, ठीक अच्छी. No joint session is held so far, that is wrong. There have been successful 3 joint sitting held so far. Which of the following is not a stage in the passage of the union budget? Vote on account is not a stage in budget, as you know. Okay, so this is all about your union legislature. We have completed thanks to your participation and view. Okay, continue to be with us. In the next class, we shall be starting with budget as a judiciary. We shall focus on Supreme Court, High Court and Subordinate Court in detail. Okay, till then let me bid you goodbye. Stay focused on your study and stay particular about your goal. Thank you very much for being with us.